Hello, everyone, and welcome to another beautiful day. It is, of course, a midweek edition of Global Morning, and I am right here today standing in for Uyi Agbomo Fuegbe, who is unavoidably absent. He's going to return very powerful, yes. As a matter of fact, so many things happening in Nigeria, and these are things one person cannot talk about alone. So my colleague is right here with me today, or is it me that is here with her? Anyway, any of the ways, Juma Manson is right here. Good morning, Juma.
Good morning, Ramsey. No one I didn't recognize you. I was like, isn't this supposed to be? This is not Uyi.
Oh, no. You're right. Uyi is, you know.
But it's fine. It's fine. It's great to have you side by side with me on Global Morning this beautiful Wednesday morning. Like you said, it's a midweek. It's a beautiful time.
The midweek edition. And one thing about midweek is that time where people sit down to do an assessment of the week.
Yeah.
How far have I been able to come? Monday, Tuesday, was I able to achieve my goals?
Exactly.
The to-do list that I had, was I able to trash everything? Do I have leftovers? All right, let me use Wednesday as a makeup day.
Exactly.
Then I will set the pace for Thursday and Friday.
Fantastic.
Going into the weekend, because every good weekend is known from
The week.
Friday, of
Yes.
course, which is the last working day of the week.
Yeah, that's what people say. That's why it's good to plan. It's very important. And to assess yourself. Give an assessment of what your goals are and what you've achieved from Monday, Tuesday. People just think it's a normal day. It's Monday, okay, the hustle and bustle that comes with Monday. It's not about that. Did you achieve anything? Did you seal that contract? Did you get that client? Did you prepare your notes? Did you plan? It's not all about just waking up, and people need to prioritize a lot of things. There are some things that overweigh the others. So it's very important that as a human being, as long as you're breathing, you must plan. It's very important. I know God is overall, God has the final say, but as a human being, just put in your own input and just try and achieve. People wake up, do you know some people wake up Mondays, Tuesdays, they do not achieve anything at all. Nothing, because there's something economic. I think I love the topic scale of preference. Just put all the things on a scale and just have a to-do checklist. It's not all about the day going and then you have nothing to recall, or you have to recall, what did I do today? Did I achieve anything today? Did I network today? Did I make impact today? Or was today a slow day? You have to, so to make it better for the next day. So it's very important that people plan their days and of course write it on a scale and achieve. The achievements, your wins, and of course it's not, sometimes it's a win-win, sometimes it's a win-lose, sometimes all days are not the same, but once you plan to hit the target mark, it goes a long way as a human being.
All right, let me pick two words from what you just said and get ahead with the conversation. You talked about planning and you also talked about networking.
Very important.
Let's get into the security situation in the country right now. Some persons have said every attack that you see looks like a planned work.
Yes.
There is a way these people do the planning. And you'll be wondering, sometimes they get, imagine terrorists going into school or whatever they are, whether kidnappers or whatever they are, to abduct children, students, pupils, and teachers. You would imagine how they have sat down to plan, to strategize. All right, then you begin to talk about the network. It is obvious, research has shown that every single act of terrorism, kidnapping, and whatever you see happening, there is a network, all right, of these people who do these things. Some people said before a person is kidnapped, there must be an insider.
Yes.
Like we heard of drivers, just drive
escorts, bodyguards.
Escort bodyguards. You see, they say terrorists attack military officers. There is someone, they have a network, there is an insider. All of this allegedly, all of this put together, then you begin to think about the kidnapping, the insecurity situation in the country.
Yes.
How long does it take these people to plan? How educated and strategic are these people in their planning? Can we say there are external bodies who also assist in the planning, assist in the supply of arms and ammunitions? They also do a lot of intelligence gathering. Yes. I'm telling you, the terrorists also do a lot of intelligence and security information gathering, intelligence gathering.
Very true.
And you begin to think, you begin to ask. Some of these people, if they arrest them, you look at them and say, this one doesn't look like someone that has ever seen the four walls of a university or even a secondary school, or someone that is famished. So all this ransom that they collect, where is it going to? Do they really look like people who are collecting millions from Nigerians? So sometimes the issue of insecurity in Nigeria is big.
Yes, it is.
It's a book that is so voluminous. You can't read it in a short time. So, like what happened in Oyo, you can see the protests. Some persons were saying, well, this is not the first time we're hearing that students and teachers have been kidnapped. Why the protest now? Some persons are saying, well, this is an attempt, all right, to distort the political setting towards 2027. You remember there were a lot of speculations when this issue of terrorism started way back, is it 2011 or so, or before then. A lot of people were like, okay, because of Jonathan, this, that, and it was somehow, I want to say, it was somehow taken for granted because people felt it was politically motivated.
It's a phase.
It's a phase. And gradually it has grown. Now it is not the Northeast anymore.
No, it's not.
It has eaten deeply into the fabric of the society, Nigeria at large. If you go to the West, go to the South, North Central cannot be talked about as it has to do with this situation. So the issue of planning and networking. I'm saying this because if you want to approach this situation, we need to give it a holistic approach.
True.
If you watch the report on the AM news this morning, NUT, all right, are protesting. You saw Omole show right there. Protest is going on across the country. But then, what's going to be the aftermath of this whole thing? The funny aspect of the whole story is that before you even finish talking about this, maybe in the next few days, you hear of another incident somewhere else in Nigeria.
That is it. That is it. Ramsey, this is something that has given a lot, in fact, a lot of Nigerians sleepless nights. It might not affect us directly, but individuals that it has affected, that you know and you have seen, it puts that fear in one's heart that God, nowhere is safe. It only takes God and grace for us to be here, go home, come back, go to work, come back safe and sound. A lot of people are not privileged enough to have that. And it's just unfortunate that this is where we are in Nigeria. Like you said, intelligence gathering. In the military, there's something called mapping. These individuals just come as the regular guys that you know. These individuals infiltrate into the states. There are regular people that go to the market to buy things from these particular individuals in that particular state. They go in as regular individuals just to map out and see routes in and out, or will I say routes in and out, who has money, who doesn't have. It's just mapping individuals, mapping houses. You might think that security is everyone's business. So when you see something suspicious, that's why they say when you see something, say something. Very important, because you do not know who is who. And like you said, when you see these guys when they are caught, you wonder, have they seen the four walls of university? It's all about intelligence. Haven't you heard that exam is not the true test of knowledge? Someone might not be good in the four walls of the university, but he's very intelligent and very calculated when it comes to, all of these criminalities. And that's why that's why we're different from individuals abroad, because they make the use of these individuals who are very slick. They infuse them into the system to make them better, use it for the benefit of that particular country, not leaving them and all of that. But it's just unfortunate, really. There are so many strategies now. People come in as if they are decent human beings. Like, the Oyo kidnapping, do you think it was something that happened one day? Of course, they must have sat down, planned, strategized. Someone must have come in as a parent and says, okay, he wants to bring his child into the school. Okay, let me go around the school, even at night. even having that cooperation with the guard in the school, just going around to see the easy way, the routes in and out, teachers that you can discuss with, or what's the easiest, when is the best time, when is the best time, when is the school like a Desica when it comes to activities, when is the best time to strike. These things don't take a day or a week. It takes months of planning in order for them to get the goal and fulfill that particular mission. So it's just unfortunate, really, Ramsey. At the point we thought that this happens to only the white people. They're the ones that kidnap. What's our business? But when we Nigerians, we see that there is lots of money in it. You tell someone 100 million and the person will be begging, oh please, what happened? Take this, and we still pay you in millions. That's the fastest way.
It's becoming more like a business in Nigeria.
More like a business, or it is a business. What are we saying? It's a business. People, haven't you heard of, what's his name? Evans. That was how he was making his money. He was kidnapping people. Have we heard of Evans now again? Do we hear about the case? That was the way he was making money. He was a multimillionaire, kidnapping individuals and all of that. And it's just unfortunate that this is what it is now. And it's so bad that these individuals have come in form of terrorists. They kill at their own will. It doesn't matter, big, small, old, young, it doesn't matter. Depriving people of their source of livelihoods, meaning Nigerians who do not even have anything. But at the same time, it's just unfortunate. We just, right now, for as much as the military are doing the best they can, I would say they are, because lots of troops are going into these particular volatile places. Some have lost their lives, a lot unaccounted, missing in action. Everyone is trying their best, but at the same time, we just need much more effort, and we just need the intervention of God, basically. Hopefully,
yes, we need the intervention of the government, and of course, what else would we say than to say, well, let's keep praying, let the military keep doing their thing. There've been a deployment of forest guard to Oyo State. Let's see what will be the outcome. But people who are trying to politicize this situation, I think, is far more beyond politics. And if anyone is in the name of politics taking lives, I don't know, but then nemesis is real. That's what it means. We all pray and trust God for these people to be at least reunited with their family. At this point, we'll quickly bring you taste and texture.
Yes.
Those of you thinking of what to do, prepare for breakfast, maybe this is going to give you a little tip. So we'll go on a quick break as we bring you taste and texture.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Taste and Texture. This is Saada Sugariba, your creative chef. In today's episode of the program, we'll be making yam and scrambled eggs. Yam and egg is the ultimate breakfast consumed in Nigerian homes. The delicious richness of yam pairs nicely with the egg and other ingredients that you'd love to make this over and over again. Ingredients: yam, 4 eggs, chopped onions, chopped fresh tomatoes, chopped peppers, seasoning cubes, salt, vegetable oil, and water. To prepare, peel the yam and cut into desired sizes. Add your peeled yam into a pot, add salt and water and cover to boil. For the scrambled eggs, dice your onions, tomatoes, and peppers into desired sizes and add into a bowl. Break 4 eggs into a different bowl and add salt. Add some oil in a pan and heat up. Fry the onions for a bit and add pepper and tomato mix. Fry the mixture for 3 to 5 minutes while stirring gently. Add some seasoning cubes for taste and stir again. Add your eggs to the fried mixture and allow to fry for 3 to 5 minutes while stirring gently. Allow the oil to evaporate and turn down the heat. There you have it, your yam and scrambled eggs is ready. That's a wrap on today's episode of Taste and Texture. I hope you enjoyed these culinary demonstrations and trust you will try this recipe at home. Be sure to join me again for yet another taste-friendly delicacy. I am Saada Tugarba, your creative chef, saying thank you for watching.
All right, you're welcome back. Hope you were very, very inspired by that breakfast idea on Taste and Texture, yam and egg sauce. My favorite, by the way, very delicious. Ramsey, I don't know about you. Do you like yam and eggs?
Well, yeah, I do like it.
No, you hesitated, you don't. Well, it's all good, it's fine. Now, at about this point, let's get inspired with Heart to Heart Inspirational with Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Stay tuned.
This is Heart to Heart Inspirational, and of course, we need to let ourselves know that, all right, if life were easy, strength would be unnecessary. Do you get that? If life was an easy thing, we don't need strength now. We don't even need mental calculation. We don't even need to do anything because life is easy. Everything is just going smooth. You just sit down, relax, whatever you want to do, you do. My mother would say, if money were leaves on the tree that you can plug anytime. But it's not like that. Life is not easy, and that is why strength is required. Anyone that tells you life is easy, then that person is not doing you well. No matter how rich your parents are, ask them, is life easy? They will let you know the truth. And the earlier you realize this, the better. So that you don't lag behind. So that you don't just live a careless life. So that you don't live your life like there is no tomorrow. So that tomorrow don't take you unaware, like some civil servants who will never think about retirement until retirement meets them face to face. This is something of 35 years. What preparation have you done? Depending on pension, waiting for pension. All right. Well, with what's happening right now in our own country, I think a lot of people are becoming wiser because pension itself, well, I don't know who is doing who strong thing, but then I just want us to know that life is not as easy as we think. Whoever that is putting it forward to you that life is easy, I don't think that person is doing you any good. Life is easy. With faith, life is easy. I'm not displacing the place of ease. Life is easy if you know what to do. Yeah, life is easy if you know what to do. Then strength is also required. But if pressure didn't exist, a power wouldn't develop. Because what you're facing right now is not evidence of weakness. It's not because you're weak. Yes, it's not because you're weak. Sometimes these things happen. It's happening to other people, just that they are not voicing out the way you are voicing it out. They are not complaining the way you are complaining. Sometimes complaint don't even solve the problem. Because what you're facing right now is not an evidence of weakness. It is a proof of capacity. Your ability to subdue whatever the situation is what matters. All right? Some people, I don't want to say, but then I know of business owners, especially people who take risk in business. Sometimes if you know the kind of money they lose, you will be shocked. Sometimes we even insult them. But the day they hit it with that risk, oh my God, they can make double of what they've lost. All right? So it takes a man with a large heart, a heart of capacity, someone who has capacity, all right, to make such moves. So sometimes what's happening to you and what you're doing is not a sign of weakness, it's not a sign of foolishness, but it's a proof that you have capacity, and it's a proof that you are growing, and it's a proof that you're ready to change level, and it's a proof that you are tired of the status quo. You want a change of level. You want it to be better than what it is right now. Life, as a matter of fact, tests us not to break us, but to reveal us. Pressure exposes the strength you didn't know you have. I tell you the truth. Pressure exposes the strength you never knew existed on your inside. So sometimes your ability to overcome pressure sometimes matters. And that's why when you're going to look for a job in some other places, you hear, all right, do you work under pressure? Sometimes it happens. You don't beg for it to happen sometimes, but it happens. Even at home, in your family, it happens. Between you and your siblings, sometimes you see some things, some kind of pressure comes. All right? Those pressures exposes your strength. Your ability to handle those pressure, those times is what matters. It makes you. The weight you are carrying build your muscle in your character. That is true. What am I saying? I'm trying to let you know that the weight you are carrying sometimes is building your muscle in your character. Storms don't last forever. That reminds me of one of Kirk Franklin's songs that we used to sing those days. Storms don't last always. All right? Storms will come, whether you like it or not. In as much as life is there, storms must come, but it doesn't last and it doesn't exist all the time. But resilient people do exist, irrespective of the kind of storm they have been faced with. You've survived things that once made you cry. Am I telling your mind? Am I saying the truth? Am I saying your mind? Yes. Those things that made you cry sometimes back, you survived it. By the time those things are happening again, you already have the muscle to withstand it. You've overcome moments you thought would end your life. Some things happen and you say, whoa, some people think they are finished. Maybe a grace available for this moment. That same strength is still inside of you. There are strength on your inside that have not even manifested. All right. So when pressure comes in your business, in your family, in what you do, in your pursuit for success, don't allow yourself to be weighed down. Let me take gold, for instance. It's been refined by fire, not destroyed by fire. Any gold you see shining today, it went through a refining moment. What refines gold is fire. Fire. They put gold inside fire, heat it. It will be burning it. It's only God that knows what that gold will be saying. But after that moment, it comes out shining. And people will want to pay millions, billions to buy it. All right? That heat doesn't remove the gold. It removes the impurity, the dirt, the unpreparedness, the unreadiness. All right? The procrastinations. All right, the indiscipline, the misbehavior, the unreadiness is being removed by that fire. And you come out pure, you come out refined. Stop asking, why me? Sometimes, a lot of people like asking that question. Oh God, why me? Allah, why me? Oh, why me? Stop asking that question. Start asking, what is this building in me? What is this situation trying to bring out in me? Why did this thing happen to me? God, what are you saying? What is it for? What is it for? Sit down and think. Some people don't even have thinking moments. There are times that you need to shut the door. You need to off your phone. Sit down and think. Strategize. Distraction. Kai, I don't know, but a lot of distraction in this our generation, a lot of distraction in this our days, especially this age of internet. Yeah, a lot of people are doing well with the internet, but then there are times that you need to sit down and just you and you alone, you and your heart, and what you have conceived in your heart, that is in your head, boiling, how it's going to get into your hand. Sometimes you sing and ponder over it. All right? Trust your resilience. You have survived 100% of your worst days in the past. So what is left? These are the things you should be asking yourself. All right. So I want us to know that this moment will not defeat you. It will develop you. And it's all a matter of choice. You need to decide it. You need to want it. You need to live it. You need to behave it. It needs to be in your head after conceiving it in your heart so that it can enter your hands. Thank you very much. You are a success going somewhere to happen. Recondition your heart and your thinking cap should be on all the time. I'm Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye for now.
You're welcome back, and of course, thank you to Ramsey Enoch Agbo for inspiring us with heart-to-heart inspirational today. Thank you. We're well inspired.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
This is what we do,
Yes.
It's good. If your heart is not together, it's a lot of disaster.
Yes, it is.
So as the day is getting started, you put your heart together, helps you stay focused, and it brings in productivity and excellence at the end of every day.
Yes, it does. I like the part that you have to put your hands together. You said it. But at about this point, I'm sure we're all inspired by heart-to-heart inspirational. But now we're moving on to the newspaper review segment, and we're going to start with the first paper of the day. And the first paper of the day is the Daily Trust. And below the nameplate, it says 13 rep members switch parties. And it says many killed as Sokoto records another attack in 48 hours. TGI Group and Wilmore. Let's quickly go on a very quick break. We'll be back shortly.
This Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m., Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
Hello, welcome to the weather forecast. Tuesday morning started off on a relatively calm and generally stable atmospheric conditions in many parts of the country. But as we go into Wednesday, we're already tracking developing weather systems building up in several regions of the country. So for the morning hours, there's likelihood of thunderstorms in parts of Adamawa, Taraba, parts of Plateau, Benue, Lagos, and the south region of the country. Going into the afternoon and evening hours, our models indicates convective clouds, that is rain-bearing thunderstorm clouds, will develop more to the north and the north-central region, while slightly reduced rainfall amounts is expected in the southern parts of the country. Overall, thunderstorms and rains accompanied with strong winds are expected. Residents are advised to remain weather aware, ensure drainage channels are kept clear, as localized flash floods are likely to occur in vulnerable locations. I am Theodora Iton. Thank you for watching.
All right, you're welcome back, and it's Global Morning, and it's still the newspaper review segment. Apologies for that very short break. And of course, on the Daily Trust below, it says many killed as Sokoto records another attack in 48 hours. Now, the star story on the Daily Trust says teachers protest wave of school abductions. CAN calls for state emergency on insecurity. And below that now it says Borno records 274 fresh cholera cases in 24 hours, and that is a cause for concern. If you want to know what these major headlines are all about, you have to go pick up a copy of the Daily Trust and be well informed with the major issues making round. And next we have the Hope newspaper. Over to you, Ramsey.
All right, let's see how hopeful the Hope newspaper would be. Quickly on the Hope newspaper, we have some headlines above the nameplate. We have this one which says, Adeboye sacks security chiefs if terrorism persists after 90 days. Some riders to that story. RCCG General Overseer urged federal government to set strict deadline for ending insecurity. The second rider says calls for action against terrorist sponsors, no matter how influential they are. And now the star story on the Hope newspaper. Ondo government approves 2.38 kilometer flyover in Akure. More headlines. Tinubu hails 128 billion naira mortgages to 1,859 families under housing scheme. Oyo school attack. NUT holds nationwide rallies, demands release of abducted teachers and pupils. Then this one says other strike in Oyo over insecurity in schools. Cholera claims 39 in Borno. Cases rise to 4,204. INEC ready for Ondo South by-election. 178 communities at risk of flooding in Kano State. That's coming from NEMA. And those are the stories for you today on the Hope newspaper as we move to our next point of call, which is the Nigerian Tribune.
All right, now the Nigerian Tribune, and below the nameplate, above the nameplate on page 5, it says, private sector growth hits 9-month high despite cost pressures, and that's from report, and it's on page 5. On page 4, it says INEC probes insider breach of CVR database, and the rider says to hand over culprit for legal action. And on page 7 on the Nigerian Tribune, it says UN budget crisis tops agenda as Nigeria's Jimoh Ibrahim takes helm of key UN committee, and that's on page 7. And the Star story on page 3 says teachers protest spread over school abduction. And we have some riders there, about 4 riders, says holds in Kogi, Lagos, Kwara, Rivers, Benue, Edo, Oyo, Ondo, Osun, Cross River, FCT. And it says NANS, NLC joins in solidarity. Senate reps condemn attack, warn against politicizing insecurity. And another rider reads, our priority is safe return of our students, not politics. And that's from Makinde. CAN declares 3-day national mourning, June 14, Black Sunday, demands state of emergency on security. And like I mentioned, that read is on page 3 on the Nigerian Tribune. And on page 10, it says EFCC, Lamido clash over witness in 1.35 billion naira fraud trial. And below that, it says 13 reps dump APC, PDP after party primaries. That's on page 4. And there are 2 riders there. It says 6 Oyo lawmaker, one from Bauchi, join APM. Kingsley Chinda resigns as minority leader. And of course, the health segment says new antibiotics-free strategy prevents newborn meningitis, and that's from researchers. And if you're wondering what that read is all about, you have to flip over to page 13. And below the foot of the Nigerian Tribune, it says ADC crisis. Aregbesola asks new judge to withdraw from Nafiu Bala Gombe suit, and that's on page 10. And those are all the major headlines on the Nigerian Tribune. Please go out and get yourself a copy as we tilt over to the Daily Sun.
All right. Before we get to the Daily Sun, 13 reps dump APC, PDP after party primaries.
Yes.
You know, the saga after the primaries still continues.
Yes, it's a saga.
This is something that Nigerians will keep talking about until even after the 2027 election, because it has not happened before. And if we want to salvage our political system, if we want to rescue Nigeria from the hand of hijackers, political kidnappers, then the issue of cross-carpeting, something needs to be done about it. If you are in a party, you are in a party.
Yes.
That constitution needs to be amended.
Yes, it does.
I thought it was going to be talked about in the reform, in the electoral reform, but it wasn't. If there is always room for people to move from one party because it didn't favor them or because they didn't do well and they are not moving ahead in their political careers, if they will have the opportunity to always cross carpet to another political party, then we'll keep having this recycling. You see how people leave one party to the other party because they want to contest for a particular position.
What happens to the members that are there?
The members that are there,
for that particular
where you're
position?
going to.
Exactly.
And the people you're leaving that political party. Who is going to fix it for
Exactly.
you? Especially when you are a leader of a political party and living, it's just like you living your home, living your family, living your house. For one reason or the other, who is going to fix your family for you as a father of the home? So it is a big problem. I think something needs to be done about that so that our political system can at least, even if it is not going to be 100% better, then at least it should be 50-60% better than how it is right now. If you want me to rate our political system at the moment, I won't be able to do so for certain reasons, and everybody know the deteriorating state and how politics in Nigeria is becoming something else. The world is watching, and that is the worst aspect of it. So if they are defecting, a lot of people are not returning. Okay, a lot of sitting House of Rep members, senators are not going to be returning. I don't know of the governors. Some are being asked, according to what we heard, allegedly, they are being asked to step up and contest for the senatorial seats. So let's just see what will happen. But the bottom line is that so much money is going to the state at the moment, but we are not seeing any improvement than what it has been in the past. All right, now we'll go to the next point of call, which is of the Sun newspaper. On the Sun newspaper this morning, we have these headlines. Given as a CDS orders 3 months to end terrorism, banditry, or resign. Adeboye tells Tinubu. Then one writer to that story, Christian Association of Nigeria, that is CAN, declares June 14 Black Sunday. All right, this one says Nnamdi Kanu, that's the Kika, U.S. Congress directs Secretary of State to engage Nigerian government. Okay, schoolgirls or school children's abduction. A protest spread in Lagos, Oyo, Ogun, Rivers, and Abuja. Let it escalate to all other parts of the country where there are schools, because nobody knows the next place that will be struck. I want to write into that story, and it says NLC, NUT, CSOs, youths demand urgent action. Then this one says Akpabio seeks unity of purpose to defeat banditry. Then politicians benefiting from insecurity. That is ex-Chief of Army Staff Buratai that is saying that politicians are benefiting from insecurity. What I know is that every single blood of a Nigerian that drops because somebody is interested in the killing of Nigerians, that person cannot go scot-free, because we know what blood is all about, except if blood is not flowing in the vein of that person. But then this is not something that has been proven in the public. All right, if it is proven and these people are being brought to book, are being made to face the wrath of the law, then we know that this is actually true. But for the ex-coas to say this, then there is something, because he's been a chief of army staff before. This one says UN, Jimoh Ibrahim appointed chair of 5th Committee of General Assembly. INEC has questions to answer over CVR database leak. That's article saying that, well, this is not politics anymore. When I heard that, it was even on a sister station that I saw that somebody was able to hack into the back end, the portal of INEC, to bring out the information of someone, a Mekaike, who was contesting, and people were wondering, how comes a politician or a personal assistant or an SSA or PA or whatever would have access to the back end, the back end of INEC's portal. I saw that and I was like, wow.
I'm perplexed.
So what's going to happen in 2027 if this person is not a top-notch politician, is not an INEC staff?
Exactly.
But how comes he was able to go get information from the back end of INEC portal?
Is it that the portal there's so much lacuna, or it's
nobody
very
know.
porous, or what's the problem?
It's a challenge. It's a challenge.
No, this is a serious problem.
It's a serious problem.
It is a serious problem.
Well, I don't know.
But how certain are the results when it comes to the 2027 general election? Now that's food for thought for you and I.
That's it. This is an issue that needs to be talked about. All right, that's coming from the presidential candidate of the action of the ADC. And now, Reason says ADC crisis. Aregbesola asks new judge to withdraw from Gombe's suit. Nigerians' economy fractured by 66 years of blind policy, not only corruption. Ojikalu is the one saying that. These are politicians talking on Daily Sun today. Those are the headlines for you today on the Daily Sun newspaper. We'll quickly move to our next point of call, which is The Nations.
All right, the Nation newspaper. Here it says above the nameplate on page 25. It says ADC presidential primary shameful, Babache insists. And on page 7 it says Tinubu's reforms okay for economic recovery, says MAN. And on page 3, it reads, Ambassador Jimo Ibrahim elected UN budget admin chairman. And on page 3 again, it says federal government tightens border control to prevent Ebola. And of course, I would say that's a step in the right direction. And the Star Story reads, Ekiti 2026. And the writer says, I will end insecurity in 24 hours, says ADC candidate. And that's on page 6, and it says, your performance has campaigned for you. Drivers tell Oyebanji why Ekiti South deserves governor's seat by Odeyemi. And of course, all those reads are on page 6. And it says, Senate House protesters, let's get kidnapped victims out. And I concur to that. And below that it says protest spread to Lagos, FCT, Kwara, Plateau, others. And the next writer reads, don't politicize insecurity, says Akpabio Wike. And still on it, it says here, investment group global company partners on food production, job creation. And below the foot of the Nation, it reads here, ADC asks judge to quit case, and that's on page 25, and it says DSS joins probe of INEC portal breach, and that's on page 30, which is a major concern now. Now, please go out and get yourself a copy of the Nation newspaper and be well informed of these major issues, or will I say concerning issues making rounds. Next, we have The Punch.
All right, let's quickly get to the Punch newspaper and see the headlines that we have right there. Above the nameplate, we have some very striking headlines there. The first one, to the left-hand side, discuss and 600 billion naira in 3 months despite blackout. So how are they getting this? If I want to talk about the issue of electricity power supply in Nigeria, it's going to take a whole lot of time. But then, that is what discourse has ended. Reason says private sector faults 100,000 naira minimum wage proposal. Right, INEC DSS probe voter data leak as Atiku raises fears. INEC DSS probe voter data leak as INEC raises fear. I think Amopiton actually need to be on his feet right now, on his toes, because this is not a good one at all. It's not good. The big story, which is the star story on the Punch newspaper this morning, a school children abduction or your protests go nationwide. NAS moves on state's pleas. Some riders to that story: teachers, residents protest in Kano, Port Harcourt, FCT, Edo, Cross River, Benue, Taraba, Anambra, Akwa Ibom, and others. NLC, NUT, Nant rally at government Makinde's office. Senate observes 1 minute silence for slain teacher. Reps Senate set to expedite state police bill as anger spreads over abduction, security failure. If that's going to put the authority on their feet, then why not? Northwest IDPs near 800,000 amid killings. That's according to the report that we have. And of course, so safe officers in police net over Ogunman's death. Democracy Day. Tinubu to address National Assembly June 12. All right, those are the headlines from the Punch newspaper this morning. I think we can we take one more?
Yes, we can. Let's quickly take one more, and we'll take the Daily Independent. And above the nameplate of the Daily Independent, it says INEC DSS investigates leak of voter registration database. And that read you will find on page 6 on the Daily Independent. And on page 2, it says here, CAN urges FG to declare state of emergency on security. And the writer said declares 3-day national mourning, June 14, as Black Sunday. And below the nameplate, and that's the star story on the Daily Independent, it reads, FG pulls 128 billion naira to provide mortgages for 1,859 families. And the writer says Tinubu says initiative bridging gap in mass housing. And on page 29, it says Shatima tax states to unlock full potential of $750 million Saber program. And on page 7, it says, stop blame game over school abduction, support rescue effort, and that's from Makinde. And on page 6, it says here, Nigeria remains in captivity until abducted pupils, teachers are freed. And that's from Akpabio. And on page 7, it says, APC national chairman vows deeper inclusivity opportunities for women. And that's a step in the right direction. And below that, it says, Rep seeks rescue of adopted teachers' pupils in Oyo and, of course, Borno. And writer says, urge FG to fund NSDC amid Ebola threat. And at the foot of the Daily Independent, it reads, FG unveils interministerial committee to mark Democracy Day. And that's on page 7. And, of course, this brings us to the end of the newspaper review segment and of a Global Morning. And remember, Global Television and, of course, the Global Morning crew have no input whatsoever in all the headlines, no input on the editorial judgment on these papers. We brought them to you exactly how it is published. And up next, it's Social Buzz with Uncle Chuku Mobono. Stay tuned.
up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
Watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
In an age of breaking news, you need a trusted source that prioritizes accurate, factual, and unbiased reporting. This is AM News, and I am Ubong Osoro.
On Global Television, our news is rooted in verified and authoritative storytelling that keeps you educated, informed, and enlightened on all the issues that matter to you. I am Sadia Yakubu. This is Midday News.
You can trust our multi-platform news broadcast, real-time and fast-check stories for all the big local and foreign headlines round the clock. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. This is News Express.
Our array of anchors delivers the news to our teeming viewers, breaking it down with context and perspective. This is News Cycle on Global Television. I am Anieti Patrick.
And the flagship news is your hub for the day's most engaging stories. This is News Prime, and I am Jumai Manson.
Did you miss any of our news rounds? No worries. Catch up at 10 p.m. and midnight, 7 days of the week. I am Mukhtar Kasim.
Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. We're active across all social media platforms at Global TV NG.
Global TV News, accurate and unbiased. I'm Uyi Agmofwebe.
At Wichtech Cables, we don't just make cables, we deliver excellence. Our products are built with advanced technology, trusted for their unmatched quality and durability. With a wide range of cables, swift delivery, and continuous innovation, we stay ahead of the market demand. We are proudly Nigerian, fully indigenous, yet world-class. Backed by a professional team, strong technical support, and a deep commitment to customer satisfaction. Wichtech Cables is more than a brand, it's a promise. Wichtech Cables, quality cables, better than the best.
At Aerogym Shoe Factory, excellence starts from the ground up. Located at number 1 Pound Road behind Nigeria Correctional Service, Aba, Abia State. We produce 1,500 high-quality shoes every single day. Paramilitary shoes, safety boots, desert boots, ankle shoes, back-to-school footwear. All crafted with state-of-the-art equipment and built for strength, comfort, and durability. For reliable footwear that stands the test of time, choose Aerogym Shoes for better product, strong steps, smart style. For inquiries, call 091-264-53399 or 070-3009-3944 or 080-6573-8374 or call 081-3167-3668. Email info@aerogym.com. Website www.aerogymdesign.com.
Aerogym. Walk with confidence. Walk with pride.
When social media speaks, we listen and we bring you the extra. It's your one-stop shop for trends, tweets, and the tea everyone's sipping on. Join the conversation, share your thoughts, and get that extra dose of what's shaking the internet.
And on the issues making wave on social media to your doorstep.
Social Buzz Extra, where the trend meets the talk, only on Global TV.
Good morning, Nigerians and viewers around the world. It's time to look at buzzing issues on social media, away from the insecurity and also the protests that took place yesterday all over the country. The Nigerian Union of Teachers, including students, actually took to the streets to protest about the 48 abducted children and teachers in Oyo State. A Nigerian man, away from that, we're going to be discussing the prices of food, increase in the price of food. The Nigerian man has gone viral after lamenting the rising cost of food, revealing that he bought just 8 tomatoes for 1,000 naira at a market in Yaba. In a video shared online, he questioned how families, especially large households, are expected to survive amid rising food prices, stressing that basic ingredients like tomatoes, pepper, and onions have become increasingly difficult for many to afford. The visibly angry man also criticized the state of the country, expressing frustration over hardship, insecurity, and the rising cost of living in Nigeria. Let's take a look at that video.
Nigerians, this video now that I want to make, before I didn't want to make it, but out of annoyance, I am here to make this video, because I'm not happy. This tomato, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I bought it for 1,000 naira this morning in Yaba. Tomato, 8 pieces of tomato, 1,000 naira. Now tell me, a family of 8, how many of these tomatoes are they going to buy to feed their family for one day? How many of these things are they going to buy to feed their family for one day? Now, on a normal day, to eat noodles, 4 sachets of noodles, you need this quantity of tomato. But now you want to cook even jollof rice or even stew rice. How many of these 8 pieces of tomatoes are you going to buy to feed a family of 8 children plus father and mother? That is 10. Whoever that is doing us this thing in this country called Nigeria, it will never be well with you, your family, your generation, your children, your children's children. It will never be well with you. Whoever is supporting you, whoever is defending you on air, defending you even offline, defending you that you are doing well, whoever is doing us this thing in this country, making people to suffer, God will punish you. You will be alive and die. You will die, but you are alive. You will die, but you will be alive. It will be better that you even die and die than to die and be alive. In fact, you will be smelling all the things you've done to people to suffer them. Now, imagine people who will not be able to afford tomato, to buy tomato. For instance, what they have for tomato today, tomato, pepper, and onion is 1,000 naira. That before you can buy tomato, buy pepper, buy onion, even buy Maggi with 1,000 naira. What do you think they would do today? What do you think they would? How would they feed today? Somebody might even ask me now: Is it by force to eat rice on Sunday? Thunder punish your mouth there. Whoever is supporting this yeye government that is putting us into trouble, your family will never know peace. You will never know peace in your life. You will start confessing one by one to the atrocities. Look at the nuts that are producing this thing. You scatter everywhere. You destroy people. You allow bandits and criminals to be attacking people and destroying lives. And you are happy. Driving cars that are expensive. Buying fuel, feeding your dogs with millions of naira every month. Thunder will fire all of you. God will punish all of you. It will never be well with all of you that are causing this problem in this country. How about people that will not have, that may not have the money to buy this thing, to buy 1,000, to buy this thing into 10? That's 10,000 naira to cook ordinary stew. Only tomato, 10,000 naira for stew. It will never be well with all of you. I don't want to mention names, whether a political party or whether an individual or whether whoever is responsible, and you are aiding these things. You are aiding corruption. You are aiding food scarcity. You are supporting nonsense. Saying that your father is working, your mother is working, your generation is working. Whoever is supporting this rubbish in this country will never know peace. You will never know peace. Look at 8 pieces of tomato. Over 100 naira for one. This is more than 100 naira. Look at how many will a poor man buy to feed 8 children? How many will a poor man buy to feed 4 children? Shame on you. Shame on all of you. You are driving jeep. You are carrying convoy up and down everywhere. People are suffering. Shame on you. Your punishment is coming. God will punish you. You will urinate on your body. God will punish you. You will be sick. You will die inside, but outside you are living. In fact, you will be smelling. God will punish all of you. Imagine 1,000 naira. You need to see the...
I think that's enough reason to actually complain, because in as much as we are fighting insecurity, what exactly can we eat to stay alive to fight insecurity? So definitely his points are all valid. You know, you cannot be fighting insecurity with an empty stomach. You cannot be hungry while doing all of that. And it's really crazy that we can't afford these things. He made mention of a family of 8. He kept saying family of 8. And, you know, I read through one of the comments and someone said, who gives birth to that large numbers of children anymore? You know, what is happening currently in Nigeria is going to even help you plan your family. You know, this family planning thing they do is going to help you plan very well, so you don't have to give birth to so much. But then let's not also dispute the fact that we have some families that have these numbers, especially in the rural areas. They have this numbers of families in some places, and yes, they are still going through this hardship. You know, prices are surging every day, and it's not something we can control, but we know what actually is the cause of this price surge. Most farmers can't even visit their farms anymore. They can't go to the farms as usual. Well, before we dive right into the discussion for today, let's take some comments from social media. And the first comment is coming from Faye. Faye says, if tomato is this expensive, what are they mixing in those sachet tomatoes we are buying? Very valid. We were just talking about that a few minutes ago. And yes, I'm asking myself, what exactly did they put there? The next comment is coming from Sean George. And Sean George says, cows no allow farmers enter their farms. This is the result. Ranch the cows, let farmers do their planting. Thank you so much. That's the actress Sean George. And the last but not the least is coming from Princess Ubi. And Princess says, it's not just Nigeria, it's a global challenge. The cost of living keeps rising, and everyday essentials are becoming increasingly expensive. More and more people are finding it difficult just to keep up, and it's becoming a real struggle to make ends meet. Thank you everyone who dropped their comment concerning today's topic. Yes, I'm not doing this alone today in the studio. I have with me Jumai Mansi. Good morning, Jumai.
Good morning, Ogochukwu. It's great to be here with you on, of course, Social Buzz, talking about this very heartbreaking issue on the rise of food. It's like one of the social media individuals said, it's a global thing, but at the same time, it's taking a big toll on individuals, a big toll. It's just unfortunate that this is where we are. And someone says, who gives birth to so many kids? I read, I laughed. But you know how it is, you can't stop this. They say it's procreation. You can't stop it. But at the same time, wisdom, you have to be wise.
Of course.
But at the same time, for as much as that amount of tomatoes, talk more of other foods like rice, gari, beans. That's just tomatoes. There's a way you can make stew, and you can just, wiggle around it. You might not use much tomatoes, but how about those other ones that fills the tummy? So it's a big challenge, and I hope the needful is done as soon as possible. But it's the insecurity that is causing all of these high cost in foods, because farmers can't go to their farms to harvest their crops. It's a serious problem, and I think we should just take it one day at a time, and we should just continue to pray for an intervention from God.
For how long are we going to really pray for this intervention? Because, growing up and, when you go to the market with your mom, then we used to go to the market with our mothers.
Yes.
And you see when your mother is pricing a particular commodity and you're like, this thing is very cheap. Why are you still pricing in your mind? But you don't say that because they might just hit you with their purse. So you keep saying, this thing is very cheap. Why is mommy still pricing? But right now, we can't even price.
No, you can't.
That's the problem. You cannot price. Your parents will price then, your mothers will price then, and they will get it for a lesser price and still go home with something very good, tangible. But right now, when they tell you the price, that's all, because even the traders, the farmers, they're all facing same issue. Yes. They go to the market. A trader told me some days back, I went to get meat, and he said, I was like, why are you giving me this amount of meat for so amount? And he said, my dear, every day I go to the market, the price of cow is different. It's increased. I'm asking myself questions. What exactly is happening? And I think there should be like a regulatory body that is going to regulate this thing, because sometimes people just take, advantage of the situation, and they just want to increase their commodity. I said this some time ago. I said some persons already have this thing in stock. There are some goods that are not perishable, and they have this stuff in stock, and they just whenever they hear that there's a surge in price, they also bring out their own commodity and start increasing these prices. Why can't you sell for whatever it is you bought?
Do you know what? I asked a friend of mine that same question. I asked and I said, if you already have, exactly what you said, if you do not have perishables and you buy them in bulk and you keep them, he said, Jumai, the reason why we have to sell according to what is happening,
market price,
because when you go back to the market to buy, it's on the high. It's not the same as how we bought it. So if I don't sell like that, she'll be at a loss. I've asked these questions. I've asked, and I said that is why sometimes if something is for 1,850, she will at least say, okay, 1,830. So at least she will get something out of it. It's not like they want to do this, but because when they go back to purchase, it's on the high, and they will be at a loss. So imagine them buying something for 1,200, and other individuals are selling at the rate of 1,008. You can't expect them to sell at 1,003. They will be at a loss, because when they go back, they might buy at 1,500, and they will be at a loss. So it's just a very dicey situation. It's not like they are not empathetic or they do not see what is happening. Everyone sees it, and that is why I always say we should try as much as possible to make it easier on our fellow neighbors. If there's a way you can, if there's a way, just try. You might not have so much, but that little, it goes a long way. And that is why I always say, when the government comes out with big numbers, all these numbers, you see them trillions, and people are wondering, what are you saying? People don't understand it. It's when I go to the market, like just a normal individual goes to the market, when I know that there has been impact and there is progress, is when I go to the market and I take 50,000 naira and I can actually see the things I am buying. The worth of 50,000, and it's much. Oh my goodness! Now I know that, okay, in that person's mind, the government is working. But when you go to the market with 50,000 naira and then you say, was I robbed?
You're holding one tiny nylon.
Was I robbed? Did someone put their hand
you think
in my bag?
You lost your money.
Then you know that a lot is happening. But at the same time, I love my country. I love Nigeria. I'm very patriotic, because I know that when you travel outside the shores of Nigeria, and this liberty of freedom that you have, in other places you won't have them. But at the same time, structure is very important. That's why you see people, no matter what it is out there, they want to go, they want to jump. So, and food is a very essential aspect in our life. We need food to survive, and if tomatoes 8 for 1,000 naira, how many households would that feed? So it's a very serious problem. So we just pray that things get better, and Things should just get better.
Let's not also forget the fact that in as much as insecurity actually is contributing to this increase in price of food, let's think about fuel prices too. Because they have to transport these things from wherever it is down to the market. Because I saw a video 2 days ago where a girl was crying. She was sent to go get fuel, and of course they gave her 1,500 naira.
Oh my
and
goodness.
she went to get fuel, and they gave her, the fuel attendant gave her 100 naira as change, and she looked at it and she started crying. She said, "You cheated me! So give me my money back. I don't want this fuel again." She doesn't understand what exactly is going on in the country. But I'm sure the person who sent her knew. So she was holding back. She started crying. This is a little girl of age 10. She started crying immediately. This is what our kids are going through. Then imagine what the parents are going through, because they have to feed you, they have to pay for your school fee, you have to change it, you have to get a new clothes, and when you're sick, they have to buy drugs. Someone said, I cannot buy my normal gas call because gas call now costs 14,000 naira. It used to be 5,000 naira, now it's 14,000
Yes,
naira.
it
You can
is.
imagine if you have heartburn.
Yes, it is.
Your heart will burn you to whenever God is ready to save you. It's not everybody is really annoying.
It is, and that is why, I was speaking with my co-host on Global Morning, Uyi Agbomofuegbe, and I said, Uyi, guess what? Now, because of the high cost of fuel, many families, if they have 3 children in the same university, in the same school, they have to break down the days that you go to school. You are going to go Monday, Wednesday.
Really?
Yes, because they cannot afford the transportation.
You can't even afford school bus because everybody increased their price for school bus.
Of course, you can't.
For the term.
What are you saying?
Honestly.
Yes, they do. So Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, you have to pick the day that you go to school.
Are we progressing or progressing right now in this country with all of this? Because I remember back in the days, I'm so sorry about that. I remember back in the days, my mom told me a story. She said some days the father would tell the elder sister to go to school while she stays for that term. When they are able to pay for her school fees, then she go this next term. I think that's what we are seeing right now. For some students to stay back at home while their siblings go, and just because of the increase in fuel. Yes, honestly, all of these contribute to what we are facing today, and we'll keep using our platform, of course, on Global Television to bring all of these updates and make sure that the government at least listen to the voices of the people and give us a way out of it. All right, thank you so much once again, Jumai, for your contribution to today's topic. I really, really appreciate it. And yes, this is where we draw the curtains for Social Pulse on Global Morning. Good morning once again, Nigerians and viewers around the world. I am August Kumob now, leaving in the hands of Ramsey Enoch Agu and Jumai Mansin to bring us the discussion section of Global Morning. So go nowhere. Bye for now.
When social media speaks, we listen and we bring you the extra. It's your one-stop shop for trends, tweets, and the tea everyone's sipping on. Join the conversation, share your thoughts, and get that extra dose of what's shaking the internet.
And the issues making wave on social media to your doorstep.
Social Boss Extra, where the trend meets the talk, only on Global TV.
Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
Watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
Hello, welcome to the weather forecast. Tuesday morning started off on a relatively calm and generally stable atmospheric conditions in many parts of the country. But as we go into Wednesday, we're already tracking developing weather systems building up in several regions of the country. So for the morning hours, there's likelihood of thunderstorms in parts of Adamawa, Taraba, parts of Plateau, Benue,
Lagos, and the south-south region of the country. Going into the afternoon and evening hours, our models indicates convective clouds, that is rain-bearing thunderstorm clouds, will develop more to the north and the north-central region, while slightly reduced rainfall amounts is expected in the southern parts of the country. Overall, thunderstorms and rains accompanied with strong winds are expected. Residents are advised to remain weather aware, ensure drainage channels are kept clear, as localized flash floods are likely to occur in vulnerable locations. I am Theodora Iton. Thank you for watching.
In an age of breaking news, you need a trusted source that prioritizes accurate, factual, and unbiased reporting. This is AM News, and I am Ubong Osoro.
On global television, our news is rooted in verified and authoritative storytelling that keeps you educated, informed, and enlightened on all the issues that matter to you. I am Sadia Yakubu. This is Midday News.
You can trust our multi-platform news broadcast, real-time and fast-check stories for all the big local and foreign headlines round the clock. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. This is News Express.
Our array of anchors delivers the news to our teeming viewers, breaking it down with context and perspective. This is News Cycle on Global Television. I am Anieti Patrick.
And the flagship news is your hub for the day's most engaging stories. This is News Prime, and I am Jumai Manson.
Did you miss any of our news rounds? No worries. Catch up at 10 p.m. and midnight, 7 days of the week. I am Mukhtar Kasim.
Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. We're active across all social media platforms at Global TV NG.
Global TV News, accurate and unbiased. I'm Uyi Agmofwebe.
All right, you're welcome back. And yes, this is the first discuss of the day on Global Morning. And today we're going to be talking about something that is very sensitive. We all know about the high rise of insecurity in schools now, from the abduction in Oyo State and, of course, in Borno State, giving a lot of parents concerns, making them fear and worry about the safety of their children. Not just children, teachers also are afraid and worrying about their own safety as they stand to teach our children in school. Today we're going to be looking at the heightened insecurity implications for parents and, of course, the children. And we're not doing it alone. My co-host is here, and we're going to be talking with the head teacher of Naowa Model Primary School, Asokoro, here in Abuja, Mrs. Yashim Sarah. And good morning, Mrs. Yashim. Hello, Mrs. Yashim, are you there? Thank you for making our time to be part of the program, Global Morning. Mrs. Yashim, thank you for making our time to be here. You a little bit when we're talking about insecurity and, of course, the heightened insecurity implications of parents and, of course, children. As the head teacher of Naowa Model and Primary School, Asokoro, Abuja, what's your take when it comes to this heightened insecurity, especially on schools, targeting teachers and, of course, the children, or will I say pupils of the school?
Thank you very much for having me this morning. The recent heightened insecurity has hit the Nigerian education system so hard. You know, schools are supposed to be places that are safe, but recently we realized that schools are no longer safe, but they've become targets for these insurgents. And a lot of issues have come up that are really making the school system to be failing. Let me use that word, failing, because as it is in Nigeria right now, parents have become so uncertain. They are not sure if after taking their wards to school, they will come back to see them. It is very, very alarming, and it has a lot of implications on the children and parents as well.
Looking at it, do you think with this heightened insecurity and, of course, the impact it has on the children and, of course, the parents, is going to reduce the numbers of children that come to school on a daily, especially in those volatile places? Or how would they make it business as usual, encouraging the children to come to school, giving the assurance to their parents that all is well and all is okay? As a head teacher, how do you think you can actually make that happen?
Definitely, you see, it has affected the school because we have drop in enrollment, and as a head teacher of a school,
is there, but I was just going to speak with my co-host Ramsey. You know, this is a cause of concern. A lot of parents, you know, teachers are actually worried about their own safety, you know, going to school in the morning and worried that they might not come back, especially in all of these places that there's so much high rate when it comes to insecurity. And you, of course, you're a parent. Do you have any fear surrounding all of that?
Yes, as it is right now in Nigeria, nobody knows where it's really safe, not even the churches. So how much more schools? And you begin to ask questions. What's the level of security in our schools? How much value does the government have for education? Because first of all, what you value, you protect.
Yes.
Now, parents, pupils, the students now, and of course the teachers. Everyone now go to school, all right, thinking and psychologically and emotionally imbalanced because you don't know what's going to happen next. Like, take for instance, when these children in Oyo State were going to school that fateful day, they never thought anything was going to happen.
Very true.
There might not even be signs. I could remember when the bombing started in Nigeria during the Boko Haram era, where they go to places with bomb and there were a lot of bomb blasts. We had churches that had checkpoints from the road before you get to the church. We have schools where you have military officer security operatives parading around the school, especially when the Chibok girls were kidnapped. But today we don't have that.
Do you think we were now like a desical, or we became relaxed, or what caused all of that?
You know, there is a lot of lackadaisical attitude from the authorities. Sometimes I tell people, if you don't say I am here, nobody will say, where are you? So the school authority themselves need to call for this. We need security. You know, the presence of security, let's say maybe police officers, for instance, all right, will go a long way scaring these people away. Because sometimes these people, the way they even come, they come in form of maybe on bike, you know, like you said earlier, come to do surveillances and all of that.
Exactly.
But let's get back to Mrs. Yashim.
Yes, let's
She was saying something before that disconnection. It's good to have you back. You can go ahead.
That some of the implications this heightened insecurity has on the school system is that, you know, we have school closure that affects the children. We also have low attendance. We have low enrollment and low attendance, which is also part of the implications it has on the school system. And then looking at the angle of the parents, you realize that parents now live in fear, because just like the co-host said earlier, that children go to school and parents are scared. They are no longer comfortable leaving their children in school, which was not so before now. And it has some financial implications on the parents. It has emotional implications because the parents live in fear. And it has some psychological implications also. Now, these children, when they are like picking example from what happened in November last year, when abduction was done at this St. Mary's School at Papiri, you see about 47 colleges of the Federal University schools were shut down. And the whole schools at Niger State were also shut down, which was not good at all for the society. And it is still happening right now. Look at what happened at Oyo on May 15th. One of the teachers was beheaded already. And some of the videos are very disheartening. They are painful when you see what these little children, innocent children, pass through. So it is affecting the society at large, because almost everybody now live in fear, and we don't have any other place to turn to except back to the government.
Mrs. Yashim, I want to ask a question. When it comes to this issue of insecurity, I know that we all understand that education is the key, and a lot of children are afraid, especially those in those versatile areas. How can parents actually calm their children, you know, when it comes to fear and anxiety, making them understand that don't worry, everything is fine, the school is doing its best, teachers are doing their best, just calm down, go to school, and then everything will be fine. How can they do that before I ask my next question?
You see, it is not just telling a child to calm down. The parents have to rise up to ensure that all the schools have perimeter fences, very important. The schools should have perimeter fence, and they should also ensure that they have good security systems in place. Because if the school does not have perimeter fence, it leaves the whole of the staff and children around the school vulnerable. So, but if the school has perimeter fence and they have good security system, at least that will help. There will be an alarm before anything happens. And you see, before you tell a child to calm down, you must ensure that the school where your child attends is a safe place. And the parents should also rise up and follow up to the government level to ensure that proper security are being pushed to the schools. It is not enough to have policy, because recently the government put up a policy about a safe school initiative, but there is a gap. It is not enough to put up policy, but there should be enforcement. So the parents should follow up to the government to ensure that this safe school initiative program that was launched by the government will be enforced even to the grassroots. That is when you can tell a child, don't worry, and then you as a parent will also be at peace that your child is in school and you are sure that the child will come back safely.
Mrs. Yashin, before my co-host comes in, I know he wants to ask a question. But looking at this critically now, my co-host and I, we discussed about back in the day where we had issues of bomb blast and all of this insecurity that was heightened back in the day. And you know, then we had checkpoints. When you're coming into school, you'll be checked. When you're going into religious houses, you'll be checked. When you're on the checkpoints driving out, you'll be checked. Do you think we've now become like a decical, towards that approach? Why did we stop? Because if we had continued, I don't think these miscreants would have had this sort of advantage that they have by kidnapping little children and, of course, teachers.
That the country has become lackadaisical about that. Because if the insurgents notices that we have military checkpoints around the schools, around major roads, they will know that, yes, they are being checked. And so we have a lot of things for the government to do. We can go back to the drawing board. Let the government go back to the drawing board so that, all these issues will be tackled. And you see, like I said earlier, there is no how we can tackle these issues without the government. So we need the government to sit up and go back to the drawing board. We can enforce the check-ins and also enforce, cameras. We can enforce that security personnel are being placed in strategic areas so that the country can be safe for the children, for the teachers, and for the parents at large.
Thank you very much for those responses. Now, let's look at the implication of all of this in the society. We're talking about the children and the parents now. The children are coming from the society, the parents are also coming from the society. Now, we're talking about education here. What do you think of the impact of all of this on education? Because there are some kids that you need to beg them before they even go to school in the morning. Now, let's say, for instance, we have a lot of out-of-school children. Some have excuses why they don't go to school. Don't you think this is going to create more room for out-of-school children?
From research, we've realized that about 27% of school-age children in Nigeria are already out of school. That is one of the implications of this heightened insecurity. And that 27% converted into numbering about 19 million of children who are out of school all over Nigeria. Some of these issues came up because of the kidnappings, the poverty, and then some cultural issues. But the truth is, if the country continues like this, it will affect the system, because it is education that brings the best out of every system. You see, when the society is educated, it shows that yes, they can prosper, they can focus, they can, get to higher heights in whatever profession you want to train a child. But with this heightened insecurity in our nation, it is affecting the children, it's affecting the system, because now some schools are already shut down. At the rural level, you find out that some of these children are not going to school, and then they begin to learn different habits that are not healthy. Now, for some of the children who are even around the urban areas, maybe like Oyo State now, some of them are out of school, and the parents are not even at home. Now, these children begin to engage in some immoral acts that will also affect the society. So, at the long run, this heightened insurgency, insecurity is truly affecting the education of Nigerian children, and it is affecting the system. Because when you don't bring up healthy children, children who are well trained, nurtured, because education is not only about learning, it is about molding character, it is about disciplining a child. So when a child is out of the school system, it means he lacks the training for a good character as a Nigerian citizen. The child also lacks discipline, because no one is there to correct the child. The parents are busy. Probably they are trying to make ends meet. They go to work. Nobody is there to correct the child, to discipline the child. And then the third one, that learning in the four walls of classroom. You see, you find out that at the long run, these children are not able to communicate properly with others. So those are some of the implications that this heightened insecurity has on education and society at large.
This is a security situation we're talking about here, and how heightened it has come lately. Now, my colleague just talked about the fact that during the Boko Haram bombing, if you're going into some schools, you see roadblock, you see several checks and all of that. But if that has reduced, don't you think the various schools, yours is a military school anyway, so you may not have too much of such problem. But for other schools, what do you think of the school authority as it has to do with the enforcement of security? How are they acting in that area? Are they being able to reach out to the police or to the security operatives to say, well, we need our school, all right, to be secured by these security agents? And what is the level of intelligence? What do you think can be done in that area?
Of our private schools and then some schools around the rural areas are not actually security conscious. They leave themselves vulnerable, but like I said earlier, we can go back to the drawing board. You see, some of these schools can collaborate with security agencies and at least get some few, at least like 2 personnel in the school, so that they can improve on their security intelligence. You see, these security personnel are trained and they can even tell when somebody has a different motive of coming to the school. Even without them holding their ammunitions, they are trained to know when people are coming around for something dubious. So it is very important that at least we help ourselves. Let's go back to the drawing board. Let's enforce checking. And then let the schools collaborate with security
issue there.
Yes, you know, I like the fact that she says let security issues collaborate with these schools. It's very, very important, because we've gotten to that point whereby it's looking as if it's all man for himself. So you have to learn to protect your own environment, protect your children, especially those who are in schools, who are in religious houses. You have to learn to protect your own environments by collaborating with these security agencies, or will I say vigilante groups, to just keep your own aspect of your own environment safe. Very important.
Yes, I think the school authorities have a whole lot to do. Don't just go and pick one aboki from somewhere, or maybe one Igbo or Yoruba man from somewhere, an elderly man, somebody who doesn't know anything about intelligence.
Exactly.
And just go and put at the gate. No, it's not. The work of a security man at the gate is not just opening the gate for cars to come in and go out. This should be, there should be training and retraining for our security operatives.
Very important.
Even among the teachers, they should also have some level of security training, because almost every day we'll have a teacher on duty. As the teacher is on duty, the teacher go around. We're just talking about the fact that these people have informants. Informants can be anyone. It could be a student from that school even. It could be even a teacher from that school. You can't say categorically. So I feel no stone should be left unturned.
Very true.
Very true. So the schools have so much to do, because if the school is like a Desica about the whole situation, then these people will have the chance. Some parents are coming into school, you don't even know who is who.
That's true.
You don't know who is who. And this thing that we're talking about, there are people around us. There are not strangers. Even if a foreigner is coming to do anything in Nigeria, there is this level of collaboration between them and the people of their kind. You can remember just recently we heard about people being reintegrated into the society, and we're being told that these are persons forced to, join these notorious gangs and all of that. So these people can actually conscientize, the people who originally may not want to, be part of this insecurity.
Very true.
But if the attention is out of maybe from teachers, students, and there is no proper security check on ground in these schools, then these people will take advantage of that porous area and do whatever they want to do. So the school themselves have so much to do.
Yeah, of course.
Don't say I don't have money. Don't say it's capital intensive.
Oh, I'm not trained enough.
I'm not
you
trained
can always
enough.
make
So
it.
you can always get military officers, security operatives to train your teachers and your security operatives. And don't just put somebody at the gate alone and say, all right, you have security operatives right there. So what you need to do is to ensure that even the security themselves are trained, and not just at the gate. We should have someone patrolling around the school. We should have someone at the back of the gate and all of that. Even if the school can't afford it, talk to parents.
Yes.
That's why we have Parent Teachers Association. PTA. Talk to parents. This is the situation. We need your help. Parents will be willing to put resources together to ensure you have a strong security system in these various schools.
I wish Mrs. Yasim was still on. I wanted to ask what this particular heightened insecurity, the implications on not just parents also, but also on the teachers. I would love to know, but because of our time, is she back now? Mrs. Yasim, are you here? Okay. All right, so thank you so much, Mrs. Sarah Yashim. She is the head teacher, Naowa Nigerian Army Officers' Wives Association, Model Nursery and Primary School, Asokoro, Abuja. Thank you for being a part of the program, and thank you for, taking out time, sharing your wheels of knowledge or, like say, experience on this particular topic. And it's still Global Morning on Global Television. Up next is our second topic of discuss. Do not go anywhere. Stay tuned.
Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning.
For the latest issues,
Always on point.
watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
Hello, welcome to the weather forecast. Tuesday morning started off on a relatively calm and generally stable atmospheric conditions in many parts of the country. But as we go into Wednesday, we're already tracking developing weather systems building up in several regions of the country. So for the morning hours, there's likelihood of thunderstorms in parts of Adamawa, Taraba, parts of Plateau, Benue, Lagos, and the south region of the country. Going into the afternoon and evening hours, our models indicates convective clouds, that is rain-bearing thunderstorm clouds, will develop more to the north and the north-central region, while slightly reduced rainfall amounts is expected in the southern parts of the country. Overall, thunderstorms and rains accompanied with strong winds are expected. Residents are advised to remain weather aware, ensure drainage channels are kept clear, as localized flash floods are likely to occur in vulnerable locations. I am Theodora Itun. Thank you for watching.
In an age of breaking news, you need a trusted source that prioritizes accurate, factual, and unbiased reporting. This is AM News, and I am Ubong Osoro.
On Global Television, our news is rooted in verified and authoritative storytelling that keeps you educated, informed, and enlightened on all the issues that matter to you. I am Sadia Yakubu. This is Midday News.
You can trust our multi-platform news broadcast, real-time and fast-check stories for all the big local and foreign headlines round the clock. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. This is News Express.
Our array of anchors delivers the news to our teeming viewers, breaking it down with context and perspective. This is News Cycle on Global Television. I am Anieti Patrick.
And the flagship news is your hub for the day's most engaging stories. This is News Prime, and I am Jumai Manson.
Did you miss any of our news rounds? No worries. Catch up at 10 p.m. and midnight, 7 days of the week. I am Mukhtar Kasim.
Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. We're active across all social media platforms at Global TV NG.
Global TV News, accurate and unbiased. I'm Uyi Agmofwebe.
It's good to have you back. Let's get into the second discussion right away. We want to look at some policy reforms. You know, digital literacy is something that is very crucial, but how much attention has been given to that area? Look at our educational system, for instance. How many of our teachers, of our students, even in public offices, are digital literate? They are not. A lot of people today, all right, want to tell you that, of course, we want to continue the way we are. Some persons will tell you it is stressful, but You need to be ICT compliant, you need to be tech compliant, you even need to be digitally literate for you to do so much in this our society today. And joining us on the conversation this morning is a public affairs commentator, the CEO of Danladi Foundation. He's also an education enthusiast in the person of Caleb Danladi. It's good to have you join us on the program this morning.
Yeah, good to have you too, and good morning. Viewers.
Thank you for being a part of the program.
It's my pleasure to be here this morning.
Let's get to talk about digital literacy. We're doing an assessment of digital literacy as it has to do with the effort, because sometimes you'll be forced to think that where is Nigeria today? Are people even curious? How curious are Nigerians as it has to do with digital literacy? So what do you think about digital literacy and its acceptance in Nigeria?
Okay, this is a very important question. So when we talk about digital literacy, it's far beyond using the common computers and Android phones. It goes beyond that. It has to do with more of digitalization. Someone might be using his phones today to perform transactions, but he's not digitally literate. He can be able to just go in, send message, send WhatsApp message, but he's not digitally literate. So digital literacy encompasses everything from the basic use of computers to use of softwares to modern day teaching and classroom to how to access certain apps to also when you are marketing your products, it has to encompass digital marketing as well. When it comes to YouTube, today you have children that cannot cook, but they can simply watch YouTube to learn how to cook. That is how far digitalization has gone. But we are just talking on it on a broader surface. Digital literacy also have to do with education. Today in the education sector, the world is moving globally. We are moving towards innovation, which is very important. In the past, when we write JAM, it's a paper-based, but today it's computer-based, which has to do with education. And NECO and WAI are also moving towards digitalization. Now, let's also look at the engineering aspect. If you look at the engineering in the past, when your car spoiled, you take it to the mechanic, he start listening to sounds, he start checking under, but today, we have a single diagnostic machine. So if you are not digitally literate, you cannot be able to operate that diagnostic machine because it comes with different codes. It's from the codes they know what's the fault that is happening. Let's also look at the industry today, like the marine and blue economy. Digitalization has gone a long way. It has helped to reduce administrative bottlenecks in ports because previously you have to submit your document to custom, immigration, port health for clearance. But today, they have the maritime single window where you submit all those documents on a single platform. And what this does, it makes sure that the administrative hurdles of moving from one office to the other is reduced. You have reduced delay. And once you reduce delay, you have improved trade facilitation. Now, in the aviation sector also, digitalization has played a significant role. In the past, you buy a paper ticket. They write your name on the ticket. And when you want to board the aircraft, you might use another person's ticket in the past and then fly. But today, with digitalization, when there is delay in flight, they send you an SMS. They send you a message. And then all these tickets are digital. You can be able to track passenger manifest. You can be able to track the movement of aircraft from one destination to the other. If somebody is waiting for you at the airport today and the flight is not delayed, from his mobile phone, because of digitalization, he can be able to track, oh, the plane is 15 minutes away, the plane is 20 minutes away to land. That is how digitalization has helped. Let's also look at the healthcare sector. Digitalization has played a significant role. There has been improvement in the way we diagnose sickness and disease today. In the past, when people had cancer, people doesn't know it's cancer, it's a common one. So they have to put some belief on it. in the early 80s and the late 70s. They strictly believe that is something that has to do with spiritual. But today, technology has made it easier. Digitalization has made it easier to scan. In the past, people had the issue of straight cancers, but because there was no means of diagnosing, but today, diagnosing has made it possible. That's why you look at the reported cases of the timely diseases are much. It's as a result of digitalization. We also have what we call the telemetric today. In the past, because there's limited means of communication, today you can be able to call doctors online and get medical advice. For instance, during COVID, digitalization has made it possible for you to get medical advice and medical information from doctors that are far. You can sit here and call a doctor in Australia and do a Zoom meeting and explain to him this and this is happening to you. It's same as you've been sitting with him one-on-one. So that's how digitalization have gone. Because of digitalization today, we have countries that use drones to deliver drugs to patients, which is very important. So digitalization has helped us. It has made the world to be a global village today. If you look at companies in the past, such as Nokia and then Kodak, in the past you snap photo and then you have a negative film you watch. But those companies today are known. Why? It's because they fail to invest in digitalization and innovation, because they goes hand in hand. So anybody that does not invest on digitalization and innovation stands a risk of failure in the future. If you look at the Nigerian demography today, the youthful population is about 70% of the entire demography. So that's a huge asset. So if we are going to leverage on digitalization and invest in this youth, I strongly believe that Nigeria will stand a chance on digitalization globally, even though we are competing today. If you look at the Flutter Waves, you know, there are a lot of apps that have been produced by Nigerians and they are doing remarkably well in the digital space. A lot of young innovators have made it possible for us even to use apps today to order for gases. You know, digitalization has made it possible for you today to sit in Nigeria and study in the UK and also earn degree, because you can communicate via Zoom or Google Meet. Today, in the past, if you invite me to your studio and then I have some commitment or I'm far away in Lagos or London, I can't make it. But because of digitalization today, I can be able to sit anywhere and connect with your studio. That is how digitalization have gone. However, when we talk about digitalization, we have to go back to the basis. We have to go back to foundation. Now, you can't just cure sicknesses when you have headache and you just assume it's malaria. You have to find out the root cause. So we have to look at the challenges we are having when it comes to digitalization.
Yes, we'll get to that. Let me take you to the area of education now, because I love that aspect where you talked about youth. Maybe I'm even going to be concentrating more on the educational aspect of digital literacy, and this is the reason why. Because as it is right now, we look at our schools, because that is where it starts from. The students, because the earlier, the better. So what do you think needs to be done? And you know the kind of society that we have. If we leave all of these things for government, we may not get to the end of it. So now, what would you have to say about, like you talked about youths, the education, the training for students in school, you know, as they grow up, so that they can grow with this and work on themselves as they get along? Because as it is, as a matter of fact, if they start from the schools now, as they get to the university, if they discover themselves, this is the area of digital literacy that I know I'm very comfortable with, and they build on it, it's going to help the economy of the nation, it's going to help them and their parents. So what is the place of training in our educational system as it has to do with digital literacy? I know your foundation is doing so much in that aspect too.
Okay, when it comes to digital literacy, like I mentioned earlier, it at the crossroad is not even in the country. While youth and students in urban areas have the advantage of infrastructure, those students and youth in the rural areas are always lacking behind because of lack of infrastructure. Infrastructure means inadequate power supply, lack of internet connectivity, and also lack of most of those ICT centers, especially in the rural area. You go to rural areas today where there is no road, they don't have access to network. So if you don't have access to network, it's very, very difficult. But in the urban areas today, if you look at the major cities like Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, Kaduna, Jos, there are a lot of ICT hubs where these youths can leverage on to harness their potential. Now, the background and the grassroots, we have to go back to basics if we want to get it right. And then we have to start at the very foundation level, at the primary school level and at the secondary school level. We have to focus on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, because that's the basic foundation of digitalization. Those are the pillars. So we have to train the younger generation on STEM. I know a significant effort has been made when it comes to STEM education, particularly in the urban areas, but the rural areas are lagging behind. If we get it right, I strongly believe that we are going to produce young innovators. It's not only about STEM, but we also have to look at mentorship is very important. You know, a student might be in primary school today, but he doesn't know what to do. But we have these career mentors, career days, where people, successful people in the industry will come to talk to them about the prospect of digital career or something that have to do with innovation. Is very important. We are talking about entrepreneur today for our youths. Entrepreneur and digitalization, they go hand in hand. You might be able to produce a bit of handwork like crafts. You might be able to produce so many reasonable ideas. But now you need to market those products. How do you market those products? You need to market those products in a digital space to be able to reach a large number of followers. So most of these youths also have to be trained when it comes to digital marketing. But the foundation, like I mentioned, is STEM. STEM, we have to start at the basic grassroots level. But now, if you look at the statistic, that was produced by UNESCO, it says that the jobs that will exist in 2030 have not been created yet. It simply means that we have to think twice and invest aggressively when it comes to digital technology and innovation. So once we get it right at the basic level, I strongly believe that the rest will just be a walkover, but we still need to keep the momentum and sustainability. Now we are talking about JAM. JAM has gone digital. And these students from the grassroots level, if we don't train them on digital literacy, I've had report because I train students on JAM. And then most of these students, they fail JAM is not because they are not educated or because they don't know the answer. They know the answer, they know how to solve it, but they don't simply know how to navigate through the computers. So we have to go back to basics to train them on digital literacy. And the good news is the government is doing remarkably well with the 3MTT, the 3 million technical talent now that has been launched by the Federal Ministry of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy. They are doing well when it comes to that. And NIDA have also invested remarkably well. They also have a national policy on digital economy, so which shows that the government are doing well. And as you are aware, by 17th of next month, the federal government, they are all going to transit from the analog broadcasting to the digital world. So it simply means that if you are not really digital today, you'll be laid back because we are moving from analog to digital. So there's a renewed emphasis when it comes to digital literacy. In the rural areas, it's not the same with urban areas. While students in the urban areas are successful when it comes to STEM, those in rural areas are lagging behind in certain communities. And what are the challenges? One of the challenges have to do with infrastructure, lack of power, lack of internet connectivity. In some communities, even if there's power, the insecurity also is an issue because they have to move from one point to the other. So those are the challenges. And another challenge is about the number of trainers. How many people have been trained in STEM that are going to impact this knowledge in the rural areas? That is why a lot of efforts have been made by the non-governmental organizations, by the government, to train people on digital literacy. And that is why our foundation is doing at the moment. Our aim is to train 1,000 teachers on digital literacy and modern teaching techniques so that they can be able to pass on this knowledge to pupils at primary school and students at secondary school so that we can get it right. In the next 2 to 3 years, NECO is going to go digital. And if we don't train these students, irrespective of their background, irrespective of their geographical zone, we stand a risk of having a large population of students failing JAMB simply because they are not digitally literate. So before we carry out this training, we conducted a need assessment and we focused mostly on rural areas to find out the challenges. And we find out that majority of these students in the rural areas, based on our need assessment reports, they are not digitally literate. And then we have to design a program. But the program has to do with faces. We have to train the trainer first because we can't reach out to everyone. So we have to train the teachers. When the teachers are digitally literate, they are going to pass on this knowledge on to the students. But we are not going to stop there because there's one thing about you training somebody today, training him tomorrow, and then even if you follow up, it's not going to make a significant impact. You must have a sustainable strategy on ground so that this program will be sustainable over a long period of time. And then after 4, 5, 6 years, you should be able to measure impact. How do we measure the impact? We'll find out that we have a pre-assessment that we carry out before our program project. And during that pre-assessment, we know that most of them are not digitally literate. But after 4 to 5 years, we are going to conduct another survey to find out, okay, how many students have been able to study, let's say, innovation or digitalization in universities? How many students have been successful? How many students have passed through the phases of our training and are also impacting knowledge to the community? Because we have several programs that we have members of the community that have been part of that our project, and today they are impacting knowledge, which the impact is huge. So I think we have to move away from, we have to differentiate between outcome and impact. Because some people today, when they train 10,000 people, they say, I've trained 10,000 people on digital literacy. Is it an impact? I don't think it's not an impact. It's just an outcome. It's a number. You can't use number to measure impact. Impact is when somebody's life has transformed. You have to have a theory of change on ground to ensure that if I train these people on digital literacy, if I train these people on STEM education, in the near future we are going to have 5 to 6 or 10 female engineers in this particular community. Because before the assessment, we found out that the number of female participation in engineering is low. So that is why we focus mostly on rural areas. But if you go to urban areas, today we have a lot of robotics camp, we have a lot of STEM clubs, we have a lot of NGOs that have established incubation centers where the student goes to learn. So they have the advantage. And the advantage is because of their location and access to infrastructure. So that is why we are calling on well-meaning Nigeria to support students in rural areas so that we can be able to bridge this digital literacy gap. So that by the time WAEC or NECO roll out digitalization in their exam, they will be able to compete. It's not only about exams. Now, most of the jobs that the younger ones are applying, they have to test them based on CBT, computer-based training. And if you are not digitally literate, you won't be able to perform. So it goes beyond that. Even promotional exams today are CBT-based. So the world is evolving. It's about innovation and digitalization. Today, we are in an AI world, so there are a lot of changes, there are a lot of innovation. If you invent something today in the village, you should be able to transform that your invention for commercial implementation, which is very important. And how do you do that? It's through digital marketing. You can go on the social media and advertise it. And we have to continue to impact knowledge when it comes to STEM. Another area we are lacking is about the percentage of women when it comes to STEM education. The number of women is significantly low. We need
they
to
don't
do more.
apply. They are not interested. Why is it
No,
not?
it's a common stereotype that some families will say, engineering is for men and it's not for women. So we are appealing to successful women in the engineering sector or in the medical line, to guide these young girls to be mentors. A lot of effort has been made. I've attended a lot of seminars where successful women have come to talk to the younger girls, but we need the number to increase. It's not only in Nigeria, it's globally. If you look at statistics by UNESCO, the number is about 25%. So we need to increase that number. We have to have equal opportunities. We are talking about bridging the digital literacy gap. Every child, should have equal access irrespective of their sex, gender, irrespective of their location, irrespective of their whether they are disabled or not, irrespective of their religious or wherever they are, whether they are in urban or rural areas. They should have equal access. So we have to promote this gender equality because a part of the SDGs is very important, so that we'll bridge this digital literacy gap when it comes to female and when it also comes to students in rural areas and students in urban areas. If you ask me, how do we bridge this gap? It's not something that will happen in a day. Even in the villages today that students are lacking behind in digital literacy, you need to convince a lot of them. You need to have a stakeholders engagement with most of the communities today. You need to discuss with the traditional rulers, with the parents, about the importance of digitalization, because most of the parents are not digitally literate. So it takes time for you to convince somebody who is a pagan to have a line of direction when it comes to religion, because he was born a pagan, he's still a pagan, and it's difficult. So it's stakeholders engagement in a non-profit space is very important. You have to engage these stakeholders, you have to understand their problems. Then it's very important, we are talking about bridging the gap in rural areas. They have to be part of the project, because you might end up building a digital hub in the rural areas and use solar panel and have all the internet connectivity today. But what will happen tomorrow? The whole internet connectivity and solar panels are gone. How? But you have to engage them. They have to be part of the project. You have to engage them.
Let me just interject again. You've spoken very well when it comes to digitalization. Now, I want to put you on the spot. How would you evaluate Tinubu's administration when it comes to, the efforts in promoting digitalization, or let's say digital literacy across Nigeria, across all boards, without leaving anyone behind?
For me, they have done well. They have done remarkably well when it comes to digitalization, even though a lot of efforts need to be made. But when you look at the administration have done well in terms of reaching out to the underserved communities through the 3MTT. The 3MTT is going to reach out to all the local governments, all the localities in the country. And there's also the National Broadband Plan. Okay. If you look at the country today, you look at a lot of construction are ongoing. Fiber optic is almost everywhere now. So they have done remarkably well. They also have the National Plan on digitalization, which is remarkably well. In terms of the secondary school, if you look at the Renew Hope agenda when it comes to child education, so that's a basic foundation. UBEC is all there. So when you have a free school program or free feeding program, what it does is it attracts students to school. Because most students don't go to school because they are lagging behind in terms of feeding. But the free student feeding program is going to attract them. And because of that, that's the basic foundation is the school effort. So they are made remarkably well. Another thing is there's a stereotype when females are in their menstrual cycle that they feel a sort of stigma and they don't go to school. So I've seen a lot of efforts being made when it comes to supporting them with menstrual hygiene, which has supported them to go to school, because I'm talking about the basics now. But in overall, you look at the amount of money that have been invested by NITDA, they have done remarkably well. You look at the 3MTT, they have done remarkably well. Now you also have a minister who is well knowledgeable. That's the foundation and that's the key. And he's doing well. So overall, I said they have done well in terms of communication.
Yes.
And lastly, next month on the 17th, the entire broadcasting is moving to digitalization. 17th of this month of June. So that's a huge step. So
and that's
something that
that's
the agenda from the administration.
Yes.
So they have done remarkably well.
That's acceptance. Yes. But now it might not be easy for some analog people.
That's why we talk about digital literacy.
Training should be ongoing.
Yeah, that's exactly what we just talked about. So let me ask this question now, because you are the grassroots. You know, it's difficult, all right, to deal with people at the rural area compared to the way you deal with people at the urban area when it comes to acceptance. So what's the level of acceptance, all right, that is the acceptance of digital literacy at the rural level? What's the level? At least you've gone round, you know, what's the level of acceptance? Is there excitement or, oh, this is going to be strenuous? Because I could remember there was a time I did a training for Google Digital Skill training for teachers in a state, and some of the teachers were not even comfortable. They felt as if you are adding more to them, because Google Classroom, some don't even know what is Google Classroom, you know. So what is the level of acceptance as it has to do with digital literacy at the rural level?
And just to add, before you answer his question, not just acceptance, how is it broken down into the simplest form for the teachers or the individuals there to understand what digitalization is all about? Because some do not even know, especially the analog. How do you break it down in the simplest language or form so that everyone can embrace it and move on with it?
Okay, that's a good question. So I'll start with the first one about the level of acceptability. So last year I conducted a survey. I went to rural communities and we had a stakeholders engagement, first with the traditional rulers and then with some of the leaders when it comes to women, youth, and men. And during that engagement, I had the media people there, and a lot of them accepted that it's time to move forward. It's very important. They wish they had this opportunity. One of the women leaders told us that if she had this opportunity to be digitally literate, she wouldn't be going to farm to fetch firewood. So I can say that even the people in rural area are excited. Another aspect, if you go to the rural area today where there is no light and then you bring in generator and a television, maybe they are playing Champions League, the entire people in the village will all gather there. So they understand the importance of digitalization.
Just that it's not available to them.
Exactly. So for the students themselves, last year I visited a community here called Keti for a stakeholders engagement with girls and boys in that rural area, young girls and young boys between the age of 7 and 17. And I was amazed. We have over close to 300 of them that gathered for that engagement, and all of them, they want to be digitally literate. They want to be trained on computers, you know. So if you ask them, what do you want to do? Majority of them want to be trained in computers. We distributed our need assessment forms to rural areas, and the level of acceptability is really, really high. They want to change their narratives. They strongly believe that when they change their narrative, they have a common belief that if you are digitally literate today, you can go to anywhere in this world. So that's very important aspect. That's the first step. Now to your question about teachers. I've been engaged in training teachers from my charity organization. And I can say that the level of acceptability is high. What I saw last week during our training, some teachers trek for like 7 to 10, 11 kilometers because they don't even have the transportation. But they are, you know, they are hungry for the zeal, for knowledge. You know, they have to travel this far just to attend this training. It was a 5-day training. And what happened is the resource person I brought, I make sure that he's somebody that started at a grassroots. He was a teacher first before he progressed to be a resource person in digital literacy. So he really understands the problems. He understands where to start. So they start at a very basic level with basic use of computers first. Then they will show them videos. They will use case study. It was more of a case study based. And then we have practical section. So they broke it down to the minimum level that somebody who is in, let's say, year 6 in secondary school be able to understand. And from there, we gradually, bring it up, rev it up to their level. And then we move to Google Classroom, we move to Google Meet, how to prepare lesson plan online, the modern teaching techniques, the modern methodologies. So we started with the basic computer, and then we gradually moved to modern teaching techniques. So today, most of them are excited because they promise that the knowledge that they have gained, they will impact that knowledge on the pupils, and they will begin to adopt modern teaching techniques. We don't just stop there. We created a group now that we keep updating them with modern teaching techniques, whether in YouTube video, resources, and then we are going to follow up with that group. We are going to look in the next 3, 4, 5 years, where are those teachers? Are they still in the same position? Have they changed? Have they improved the way they teach? Because we have an evaluation form that we have given to Sobek, because it's a collaboration between my foundation and Kaduna State government through the Universal Basic Education.
So there's a monitoring chain.
There's a monitoring chain. We have a monitoring evaluation plan.
That's beautiful.
So this training has a lifespan of about 7 years.
Okay.
So for the first 2 years, it's going to be training. So by the end of 2026, we should have trained 1,000 teachers.
Fantastic.
Then we'll start training students as well. So and we'll also keep track of them. So we have a monitoring and evaluation officer that keep tracks of them. They are in one group. We have them in one group. So it's not like today you look for this person.
No.
We have a particular WhatsApp group that we have created.
Fantastic.
Yes, to follow up with them.
That's
and then they keep sharing their success stories. So we use their success stories to encourage other people. Yes.
Well, that's beautiful right there. Everyone, I can see the excitement back at home there. Those watching, the way the excitement is in the studio here. Well, this is the size of the conversation. Our time is already up, but then this assessment is fantastic so far and the way forward. I believe one thing that I just got from this conversation is the fact that every woman, every girl at home is now encouraged because of the question that you just answered. Thank you very much, Caleb Danladi, for joining us on the conversation this morning.
Thank you very much for
Thank you, Caleb.
Thank you
for being a part of Global Morning.
It's my pleasure.
All right, everyone. This is the size of the conversation today. I want to say a very big thank you to every one of you for being part of the conversation. As a matter of fact, Global Morning return again, and that's going to be tomorrow morning. My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Thanks for joining us.
And I am Jumai Manson. Thank you all so much for being a part of the program. Thank you so much, Caleb, for being a part of the program once again. Have an amazing day ahead. And for my co-host and I, we say bye-bye.
Have a beautiful day.